Welcome back to our channel on this beautiful day. We are absolutely thrilled to dive deep into the latest mysteries unfolding in our favorite fictional town. As someone who has dedicated over 4 decades to watching the intricate lives of these fascinating residents, I find myself completely captivated by the latest developments surrounding Z and the monumental secret he is currently harboring. I have seen countless espionage plots and hidden identities over the years, but the sheer magnitude of what Z is hiding could fundamentally alter the landscape of our beloved town. The rumors are swirling, and the evidence points to a revelation that will leave us all breathless. Is it possible that the brilliant minds behind the scenes have orchestrated one of the greatest fake deaths in recent television history? I firmly believe they have, and the implications are staggering. We must ask ourselves, what exactly is Z concealing from everyone? And why is he going to such extreme lengths to keep it under wraps? The answer, I am convinced, lies with the fate of Cassius, a man whose supposed demise has left a trail of unanswered questions and lingering suspicions. Let us delve into the widely accepted narrative that Cassius has met his maker. I, for one, have never bought into this tragic conclusion. The lack of an official departure announcement from the network regarding the incredibly talented actor portraying him was our first major clue. In my many years of viewing, a silent exit usually signifies a spectacular return. I propose that Cassius did not perish, but rather survived his harrowing ordeal, and was immediately swept into a highly classified protection program by none other than Z. Z, acting as a guardian angel within a deeply flawed organization, recognized the immense value of keeping Cassius alive and hidden. Why would Z take such a massive risk? Simply put, Cassius is the key to unraveling a web of corruption so dense that it threatens to consume everyone involved. Z knows that as long as Jens remains a free and dangerous man, Cassius's life is in imminent peril. Therefore, the only logical course of action was to fake the death and stash Cassius away until the threat could be neutralized. This brings us to a fascinating discussion about the nature of the protection program itself. We are all familiar with the standard federal programs designed to keep witnesses safe during high-profile trials. However, the Global Security Bureau that Z works for operates on a completely different international scale. Their version of witness protection is far more clandestine, operating in the shadows with resources that dwarf those of local law enforcement. For decades, we have watched this global agency infiltrate our town, bringing both salvation and destruction. The legacy of Cesar still casts a long, dark shadow over their operations, reminding us that evil can easily masquerade as justice. While this bureau has a notorious history plagued by double agents, deep-seated corruption, and questionable ethics, we must remember that there are still inherently good individuals fighting the good fight from within. Z appears to be one of these rare, honorable agents. He is navigating a treacherous minefield, attempting to clean up the catastrophic mess left behind by the nefarious Ross. Z's presence in town might be temporary, but his mission is of the utmost importance. He cannot simply walk away until he has systematically dismantled the corrupt infrastructure Ross built, and that means keeping Cassius completely off the grid. The urgency of Z's mission becomes even more apparent when we examine the current legal troubles facing Jens. Jens has finally been apprehended by the local police department, not by the global security agents, which is a crucial distinction. The charge? The attempted murder of Lucas. Now, this is where the storyline becomes incredibly juicy and complex. We all know that this entire assassination attempt was a brilliantly staged event. Lucas, showing remarkable courage and intelligence, was wearing a bulletproof vest, completely neutralizing the lethal intent of the attack. Jens has been framed, caught in a trap that he cannot easily escape. But how can Jens possibly prove his innocence when the evidence has been so meticulously stacked against him? He is facing a monumental uphill battle, and the irony of a master manipulator being manipulated is certainly not lost on this longtime viewer. It is a satisfying turn of events, but it also creates a highly volatile situation. In the past, Jens would have simply relied on his corrupt network to alter the evidence, intimidate witnesses, or make the charges disappear entirely. He would have leaned heavily on Cassius to intervene, manipulate the crime scene, and clean up the mess. However, with Cassius presumed dead, Jens is completely isolated and vulnerable. Even if Jens somehow suspects that Cassius is still breathing, Cassius is in no position to offer any assistance while under Z's strict protection. Jens is trapped, and his desperation is palpable. This desperation led to a massive blunder during his arrest alongside Ezra. In a moment of panic or perhaps calculated malice, Jens revealed the true identity of his late brother, Nathan, to the investigating detective, Joe. This revelation has thrown a massive wrench into the works, complicating an already convoluted situation and sending shockwaves through the police department. Detective Joe, acting on this explosive new information, immediately issued a nationwide bulletin for both Jens and Nathan. This is where the brilliance of the writing truly shines. Joe is operating under the assumption that Nathan is the primary alias, completely confused by the name Cassius. This confusion is a beautiful tactical advantage for Z and Cassius. Because the local police are chasing ghosts and outdated aliases, there is absolutely no chance of a corrupt operative within the precinct covering up Jens's crimes. The local authorities are focused on the wrong names, leaving Jens exposed to the full weight of the law. Meanwhile, the honorable agents within the Global Security Bureau, led by Z, have officially taken over the investigation into Ross's past activities. They are meticulously combing through the wreckage of Ross's career, and inevitably, their investigation will intersect with Jens. The question that keeps me awake at night is whether these honorable agents will coordinate their efforts with the local police regarding Jens's prosecution. I believe they must. But the bureaucratic red tape and jurisdictional battles will be fascinating to watch. If Jens were to discover that Cassius is alive, he would stop at nothing to eliminate him. Jens knows that Cassius possesses intimate knowledge of every illegal transaction, every bribed official, and every sinister plot Jens and Ross ever orchestrated. Cassius is the ultimate loose end, the one man who can ensure Jens spends the rest of his miserable life behind bars. This is precisely why Z's protection program is so vital. It is not just about keeping a man alive. It is about preserving the star witness needed to bring down an international criminal syndicate. Let us take a moment to appreciate the subtle clues the production team has dropped regarding Cassius's survival. If one were to look closely at the actor's external credits, they would notice a distinct lack of finality. Furthermore, during his recent appearances, he was credited solely under the name Nathan, completely omitting the Cassius moniker. While some might dismiss this as a simple clerical error, I see it as a deliberate choice, a breadcrumb left for dedicated fans like myself to follow. It supports the theory that the Cassius identity is being systematically erased or hidden, while the true essence of the character remains alive and well, biding his time until the perfect moment to strike. It is a classic soap opera trope, executed with modern sophistication, and I am absolutely here for every second of it. As we look ahead to the highly anticipated episodes in July, my heart races with excitement at the prospect of Cassius's triumphant return. The timeline suggests that Cassius will not remain in hiding indefinitely. He is a man of action, and sitting idle while his loved ones suffer is simply not in his nature. I predict that Cassius is currently negotiating a complex deal with Z. Cassius has the leverage. He knows where all the proverbial bodies are buried. He can offer Z the definitive proof needed to dismantle Ross's remaining loyalists and secure Jens's conviction. In exchange, Cassius will demand his freedom, a clean slate, and the opportunity to return to the town he loves. This deal is the catalyst for the explosive summer storyline we have all been waiting for. The most compelling aspect of Cassius's impending return is his profound motivation to save Jocelyn. We know that Jocelyn has found herself in a precarious position, having lied to the authorities by claiming that Cassius was Jens's primary ally rather than Ross's. This desperate lie, likely told to secure the release of Valentine and Jason from custody, has severely damaged Cassius's reputation. Liesel, a woman whose fierce devotion to her bloodline is legendary, will not take this lying down. I can already picture the venom in her eyes and the sharp, cutting words she will hurl at Jocelyn. It will be a confrontation for the ages, a clash of generations that will leave us entirely captivated. But Cassius, understanding the immense pressure Jocelyn was under, will not seek vengeance. Instead, his return will be driven by a desperate need to rescue Jocelyn from the suffocating control of the Global Security Bureau. The Bureau will undoubtedly try to use Jocelyn's perjury against her, turning her into a pawn in their larger game. Cassius cannot and will not allow Jocelyn to become collateral damage in this espionage war. His secret missions, orchestrated by Z, are not just about gathering evidence against Jens, they are about dismantling the very apparatus that threatens Jocelyn's freedom. Imagine the sheer emotional weight of the scenes when Cassius finally reveals himself to Jocelyn. The shock, the relief, the inevitable tears, it will be television gold. He will have to explain why he stayed away, why he allowed the world to believe he was dead, and how he plans to fix the monumental mess her lies have created. It is a storyline fraught with emotional peril and high-stakes action, perfectly tailored for a summer sweep spectacular. I must also ponder how the other residents will react to this miraculous resurrection. How will Carly process the fact that Jocelyn is deeply entangled with a man who has faked his own death? Carly is already dealing with the massive fallout of hiding Valentine and facing Lulu's righteous indignation. Adding Cassius's return to her overflowing plate will surely push Carly to the brink of exhaustion. And what of Sonny? Will he see Cassius as an ally or a threat to his own carefully constructed empire? We must also consider the ripple effects of Valentine and Jason being released from custody, a direct result of Jocelyn's tangled web of deceit. Jason's return to the fold always brings a massive shift in power dynamics, and Valentine is never one to sit quietly when his own interests are at stake. Introducing a rogue agent like Cassius into this volatile mix will only amplify the chaos. The interconnectedness of these storylines is a true testament to the brilliant writing that has kept me fiercely loyal for decades. As I reflect on these intricate plots, I am struck by the sheer brilliance of Z's character. He is a master chess player, moving his pieces across the board with calculated precision. By keeping Cassius hidden, allowing Jens to hang himself with his own staged crimes, and utilizing the confusion surrounding Nathan's identity, Z is orchestrating a masterclass in espionage. However, even the best-laid plans are susceptible to the unpredictable nature of human emotion. Cassius's love and concern for Jocelyn are the wild cards that could upend Z's entire operation. Will Cassius follow Z's orders to the letter, or will he go completely rogue to protect the woman he cares for? I strongly suspect the latter, and the resulting friction between Z and Cassius will provide some of the most compelling drama of the entire season.